Namaste Yin Yogis, and welcome to our practice today, our Yin Yoga for shoulders and arms. So just a few props. If you have them, you can grab a towel, or if you have a blanket, that would be helpful. And we may or may not be using blocks, just depending on if you feel like you need them. So let us get started here. We're going to move into our Starfish Pose first, which is a chest and shoulder opener. So it will be helpful to have a blanket here, and you can kind of spread it out on the top of your mat. If you're on a cushy carpet, you should be fine. All right, so we're going to come on to the belly. And go ahead and scoot your body all the way over to the left side of the mat. So from here, reach your left arm out so your wrist is in line with your shoulder. And from here, you're going to press down with your right palm and swivel up onto your left hip. Bend the knees here. So this is where you may need a block. We're going to rest the head onto the earth. If this is not comfortable here, slide a block. Notice what feels good for your right palm. You can keep it just as it is or start to wrap it around the small of the back. So the palm will face out here gently. So if you need to adjust in this posture, come back onto your belly. You'll extend the legs and then rock back onto the belly and adjust the arm. So take a couple breaths here, just starting in our first pose, a quite intense posture to start with. You can start to tune into the breath, noticing what breath is going to work for you today, whether it's belly, ribs, and chest, or just simply having that mental focal point on the breath. Taking that gentle body scan here from crown of head. Notice the shape and where we may feel some tension. Can we breathe into that space? So notice here if you feel any tingling sensation in your left arm, and you'll release your right palm closer to the body and rock the torso a little bit closer towards the earth. If it becomes numb, you want to come out of the pose. So ideally, we're going to try to avoid it becoming numb. Wonderful. So stay as you are. The next variation is to open the hips. So you'll start to walk your right foot behind the left. The right knee comes up towards the sky. So just remember, these are suggestions and offerings, and if the body is not comfortable here, listen to the body. So the final variation I'll offer today, you can start to reach your right arm up and let the fingertips start to dangle towards earth. If this becomes too intense, go ahead and release the hand back down, either on the small of the back or onto the mat. Good. Offering just a few more breaths here. Nice deep and slow breath. And let's begin to release very gently. Start to walk that right palm down onto the earth, close to the face. Gently stack that right knee on top of left. Extend the legs and we'll roll onto our belly. Release the arm. Options here. You can bend the elbow, crocodile the arms. You can reach the arms beside the body. Take some shoulder rolls up and back. So anything that feels good here, give a few moments of rest. Wonderful. Start to lift the gaze. We'll take it to the other side. Inch the body over to the right. Start to reach your right arm out. I'm sorry, inch your body to the left, reach your right arm out, and you're going to press through your left palm, swivel onto your right hip, bend through the knees, and relax through the head. So once again, find a soft place for your head to land. If you feel like your neck is kind of unsupported or the head is hanging out, grab a block here. You can also fold your blanket and create a little bit of a higher pillow here if you'd like to do that. So supporting the body so that we can sustain the pose. Option A, take that left arm, start to draw it behind you. Palm will face out towards the back of the room. And so you start to feel that gentle shoulder stretch here in that left upper arm as well. Good. So even in these more intense variations in postures, can we find a place of stillness? Is there a space that we can breathe into so that we can relax the body just a little bit deeper? And stay just as you are, or start to plant that left heel and foot behind the right and open up the hip. If this becomes too much for that right shoulder or chest, come back into that first variation with the knees stacked. And finding that last variation, if it calls to you today, reaching the left arm up, letting the fingertips dangle behind you, the palm faces down. Wonderful. Find those last few breaths here. Begin to release that left palm, ground it beside the face. Release the left knee, stack it on top of the right. Extend the legs, rock onto the belly, and rest here. Find that place for your arms so that your shoulder can relax. Either crocodile the hands or extend the arms beside you. Roll the shoulders up and back. Next breath lifts the gaze. I will suggest a block here for this next posture. Some of us may not need it, but just having it handy is helpful. So let's move into our folded wings posture. We'll start in our Sphinx. Let's take the right arm and fold it inwards so it's parallel with the top of the mat, and then take the left arm on top. So both arms are parallel. First variation is to just stay here. You can walk your arms forward and rest your forehead. So that would be a very moderate variation, especially if you have any shoulder injury here. So let's start to walk your right fingertips out, and your elbows may cross each other. So if they cross each other, chin can rest on this upper arm. If not, walk your elbows forward. Rest your forehead in the crook of the elbow. And why I say you can use a block, you can bring it to your forehead here. So some of us may not need it. It's available if you do. Okay, so we're all going to be in different places for this posture. Find what works for you. Next breath, we slowly lift the gaze, start to walk the arms away from each other here. We're going to rest the forehead, rest the arms beside the body. You can rest the cheek on one side. Wonderful. Lift the gaze. Let's take it to the opposite side. So just depending on what's going on with the shoulder, we may or may not have the same variation on this side. So just honoring where we are. Left arm folds in first, parallel to the front of the mat. Right arm folds on top. And then we start to wiggle the arms away from each other. So we want to make sure that we can breathe comfortably here if the chin is resting on the upper arm. Next breath, we start to lift the gaze, gently walk the arms away from the body. And if you took one side, find the other here, rest the side of the face. Bringing the palms beside you, let's just gently glide back into a child's pose, just for a breath or two here to move the spine in the opposite direction. So let the arms fall beside the body, relax the hem. Good. Walk the hands beside you. Start to lift the gaze. Walk the knees in, and we'll just give a couple shoulder rolls here, up, down, and back. And then we come forward. And then roll it up, down, and back. Excellent. Let's do one more posture here for the arm and shoulder. If you have your blanket, you can sit on the outer edge. We are going to add the legs here. So let's move into shoelace with our cow face arms. I'll mirror here, so keep your right leg extended. Take that left knee, walk it across. This is option A. Option B, you're going to bring this right heel to your outer left hip. Okay, if the hips don't feel ready for this variation, don't worry about it. You can also use props here if you need to. So our main focus is the arms. We'll take the arms up on the inhale. On the exhale, start to cactus your arm, and we'll thread or take the left elbow underneath the right. So options, you can hug your shoulders, you can bring back of hands together or palms together here. You'll just find that gentle squeezing of that inner arm towards each other here if you have this third variation. And you can stay nice and tall, or you can start to hinge from the hip and shift forward if you want to deepen through the hip. So just an option here. Really depends on the day and the intention of the shape and the posture as to how I personally want to take the shape. So today I'm just going to stay upright, focus on stretching through the back of the shoulder blade, focus on stretching through that upper arm and shoulder. Good. Notice where the breath lands. Excellent. Nice deep breath in. Start to release the arms. We will add some movement. Float the arms up and overhead. Deep breath. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Release the legs. Let's give our legs some movement here as well. You can take little windshield wipers. All right, switch it out. This time you'll take that right knee, cross it over the left. Heel can stay leg can stay extended, or heel can come to the outer right hip. Good. Make sure we feel stable here. Both sitting bones are rooted. Arms reach up. We take a deep breath in. The exhale cactuses the arms. This time the right elbow comes underneath the left and we stack. Again, we have options. Hold the shoulders, back of hands or palms touch. If you have this third variation, you'll just feel that gentle working inward of the upper arms towards each other. You can stay lifted here, breathing through the upper back, breathing between the shoulder blades. You can also hinge forward here and start to fold. That will create a little bit of a deeper stretch through the hip. You might also feel a stretch through the mid back. Good. Let's give 2 more deep breaths here. Release. Gently draw the arms up and overhead. Big deep breath. Exhale the hands to the heart. Releasing left knee. Let the knees bend. Take that soft windshield wiper right to left. Okay, I may have said that was our final posture, but we actually have one more. And it's a toe stretch with a variation of the arms. So, not everybody loves toe stretch. This is helpful to have a blanket, and I'll give you options. So, blocks, you can have 2, and I'm just going to demo from behind real quick so you can see what it looks like. You'll have both blocks stacked between the heels, curl the toes under, sit back on the blocks. Some yogis may not need the blocks, or you can just use one. It's really up to you, okay? Our intention is to focus on the upper arm, but it's nice to get our foot stretch in as well. So here we are. You're going to take this variation with the toes curled under, or if this is too intense, just let the tops of the feet rest on the earth, okay? So you'll just come into a more ankle stretch. All right. Let's take our right arm and we'll just bend it, and you'll tap the top of your back here. Keep the spine long. Try not to hunch forward as you do this. So elbows pointing up. We extend through the spine. Good. You can stay here with that left hand clasping that right elbow. Okay, this is option A. If you want to move into that full bind, you can wrap your left arm around, clasp the fingers together here. So you're kind of hooking the fingers. And this can also be done with a strap. So if you have something handy, even a hand towel would work. You can bring it between both hands to make it accessible. All right, so it's either wrapping the arm around on the left side or keeping that left palm up towards the right elbow. So breathing into that upper tricep area. One wonderful thing about doing toe stretch is that it affects the entire body. What we do with the feet really makes a difference for the entire body. So one of my favorite teachers talks about if you do toe stretch every single day for at least 2 minutes, you can increase your flexibility, and you'll notice it probably within a few days to a week. You can measure it by doing a standing forward fold where you try to reach for your toes, right? And you want to keep your knees bent if you do that. And then if you do toe stretch every day for a week, you might see that by the end of the week you can reach further or even touch your toes. So it could be a fun experiment. Good. Let's take our last few breaths here. And release the arms. If you have the bind, let it go. We're going to take some big, nice shoulder rolls here up towards the ears and down the back. If you need to, shake the arms out, move the energy out. Okay, you can stay here in toe stretch, or you can come on to the tops of the feet. We're just going to move on to the next side. Okay, it's up to you. So left elbow bends. We just give ourselves a pat on the back. Elbow is pointing upwards, keeping the spine long. Good. Right hand comes to that left elbow. If you have the full bind, it feels comfortable, you want to take it on this side, start to wrap your right shoulder around. The palm will face out as you kind of clasp or hook the fingers together. Good. Last few breaths. And release. Let it go. Let it go. Roll the shoulders up and back. Shake it out. Good. If you're on the tops of the toes, go ahead and lean forward, untuck. We're just going to tap the tops of the feet here. Shift that energy out. Good. Go ahead and move your block to the side. We'll come onto our back. So onto the seat. Remove our blanket if it's still here, and we come onto the back. Okay, so we may be feeling some openness up here. It may feel really nice. We'll take a twist and find a cactus arm to just kind of open up the chest. So we were kind of coming inward and doing the binding forward. Now we're going to open back up. So let's draw the knees into the chest. We take a nice deep breath in. The exhale draws the knees over to the right side. Bring your left arm out so it's in a 90-degree angle here. We cactus the arm. Right hand can rest on this thigh, or you can take right arm out as well. Now just tune into lower body here and notice if your knees are not supported by the earth. Let's bring a prop, either a blanket or a block here to support your knees, so your joints just aren't tugging and pulling. And then if your knees are below your belly button here, try to draw them in line with the belly button. So let's observe that upper chest, that opening here through the left side. Good. Nice deep breath in. The exhale draws the knees through center. Give yourself a little hug, a little squeeze, a little rock. Good. Release the feet, stabilize, and we're going to draw the knees into the chest. Deep breath in. Let the knees fall to the left. Reach out with your right arm. Cactus the arm here. Release the back of the head. Left hand can stay on the thigh, or you can open up that left arm if you'd like. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, draws the knees in through center. Give yourself a hug here. Take a final happy baby if that feels good for you. Just neutralizing the spine, flexing the feet, bending the knees, keeping the spine elongated here. Back of the head is grounded. Beautiful. Start to release. We'll move into our master pose. Heels to key each corner of the mat, palms beside the body. If this is not okay for low back, go ahead and bend your knees. Walk the feet wide as the mat. Let the knees fall inward. So you really just want to make sure that you can rest in a comfortable space. It doesn't matter if it looks like everyone else. It's your body and your practice. And then once you find that comfortable space, we let the body be. We let the body feel supported by the earth. We let the body relax and let go of the physical practice. Feel the breath natural. Releasing and letting go. So take time here, take as long as you like. When you're ready, we'll start to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the ankles and wrist. Starting to point the toes forward, reaching the arms overhead, finding that nice long body here. Good morning stretch. Gently knees hug into the chest, and we'll rock onto one side and softly press up through seated as we close our practice today. Bringing the hands to the heart space, taking this moment here to honor our beautiful bodies, honoring our beautiful practice, and honoring where we are. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Wishing you peace, love, light. Namaste. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And if you have any requests that you'd like to see regarding Yin Yoga, Hatha, Vinyasa, prenatal, drop it in the comments below. And please leave a like, subscribe, or comment. Thank you so much. Namaste.